Welcome to Instant Discussions. I'm John.
Tony!
I'm Steffan.
Which one to do first?
I wanted it just to be like...
Just nothing. Just me?
Yeah.
All right, today we're discussing...
Tony.
We're not discussing Tony at all.
Oh.
We're discussing The Fisher King, the 1991 American comedy-drama film.
Comedy? Film?
Not Dreyfus. No Dreyfus is in this
Okay,
at all.
film. It's a fucking film.
Film written by Richard LaGravanès.
How is this a
whatever,
film
and
and not just
directed
a
by
film?
and directed by
To me, it's a
Terry
film.
Gilliam. This is our continuing in our series of Robin Williams epics.
This is on the lower side
This
of
is-
Robin Williams.
We're not there yet,
Oh,
but we're talking
sorry.
about where it ranks in the Robin Williams.
Okay.
So this one, if we're going back in the time machine a few decades since our last one, since World's Greatest Dad,
But we won't shirt again.
but we won't talk. We won't be talking about World's Greatest Dad in this one, so I don't want to spoil that one for anyone. But we're getting into the Fisher King, where we will be spoiling the heck out of this one. So you picked this one,
Yes.
and
I hadn't seen it before.
You hadn't seen it before.
Nope.
You hadn't seen this before
Nope.
either. I had seen this one before because it was directed by Terry Gilliam. I just found out recently that Terry Gilliam had a film that came out last year, and I haven't seen it yet, so I'm
Who's
upset with
Terry
myself.
Gilliam?
He is the only American member of Monty Python, the group Monty Python, who is...
Oh, that's why this
Yeah.
movie was horrible.
They just
Okay.
got back together. Oh, yeah, that's something about you not liking Monty Python. Forgot about that. How much
Now it
you
makes sense.
hate
Oh, I
Monty
missed that
Python.
episode. That's right.
I forgot. I wasn't going to say that Terry Gilliam had any involvement in this until the end after we got your star rating, because now I already know what your rating's going to be. But that's fine. We already know. I'm just going with this one. This movie that runs 137 minutes long.
Ugh.
Did you know how long the movie was when you picked it?
No.
I actually thought it was longer when I was looking at it on the thing, because I was in the middle of watching it, and
I can definitely get why.
yeah.
How did this double?
But,
Oh, God. This thing made money.
Oh, spoiler already. All right, well, we'll just break right into that. It
Not
cost
quite double.
no, it cost $24 million to make, and it made $41 million, which since it didn't quite double it in box office terms, that is a failure. By the terms of the studio, it needs to at least get 2/3 of its money back, or make twice the.
I
don't know the
concur.
math, how
It's a
they do.
failure.
All right, so this film.
Unlike World's Greatest.
This is one of the early films of Terry Gilliam after his Monty Python and Holy Grail run. That was the last one there. Then it, Time Bandits and Adventures of Baron Munchausen, and then this, which also had Robin Williams.
Time
in that one.
Bandits is
So,
really bizarre, too.
So first impressions of the film, as it's first starting out, I'm gonna say going back to what we had said with another recent film we talked about with American Psycho. Even though it's 91, that's still so close to the 80s that it still had this 80s feel to it
Yeah.
for me. It's this thing of for some reason, it's almost like people in the 80s forgot how to make a serious movie.
Yeah.
And to act seriously. Like, they could get away with it in the 50s and 60s. Somewhat in the 70s, they had it in there. Like, some people were able to do it. You can see even with the Godfather able to get that in there. But then they lost it in the 80s for some reason. I think there was too much coke in the air, and they didn't really understand what they were doing. So kind of every movie's a little skewed with that in the 80s. Even the better films of the 80s have that in there. I think aside from Empire Strikes Back, but yeah. For what it is. Okay, so that's going to be my first impression of it was that kind of acting in it, or at least second impression since I'd seen this before. Your first impression, Sir Tony?
Boring. It was fucking boring right from the beginning.
From
I
the
was
beginning?
Bored as shit.
From the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, he was trying way too... The whole thing was written like he's trying way too hard. I'm a shock jock. I'm going to say all this shit. Like, you're not... He's... Oh, God. It was so horrible.
Yeah, the shock jock guy being all shock jockey and ridiculous, and then gets the crazy collar and goes and he's about to get the TV series, and the guy shoots everyone and kills himself.
And every single
so
character was like
that whole
straight
beginning
from central
part
casting. Like
just
they were
dragged so long.
Oh yeah.
That beginning part was boring to you.
Yes.
Not the parts after. It was so
The beginning
quick.
was
No,
short.
the parts after that were still boring for him.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
parts
but-
after that was.
but
and
that
the acting
part-
was so bad. Remember when he's trying to act drunk? Nobody acts drunk like that. It's like,
Yeah, that's,
like, oh,
the
God,
80s,
it's
the
fucking
80s bad
horrible.
actingness in there.
And they were doing that laughing like, like I did not believe anything in this fucking movie.
They were all on coke. They were all on coke.
They
But-
had they had to be on coke.
But to say the beginning part was boring?
Yeah, the beginning was boring.
I mean, it is Jeff Bridges though.
I mean,
He has to
thinking
be.
back
At
on the
any-
film,
at any
I
point in
forgotten
this
how
movie-
quick into this movie it got to the guy shooting up the.
It wasn't that quick.
That was pretty darn quick in the movie.
At any point in this movie, they could have just like shot everybody in the head, just some random dude, and I would have been like, "That's awesome.
On
That's
that
a
note,
great ending."
all right.
My first impression was that beginning was well done.
Yeah.
And that it got me interested really quickly.
It pulled you in super quick.
Yes.
Because you got this stupid, this like shock jock guy you got the kind of.
And it
Howard
gave you
Stern-esque
just
character
enough of
there.
a snippet of him and his character.
Yeah,
and what he
establishes
was.
his character there, shows that he's about to rise on to having a TV show, and
all this stuff on
he's
the
got the stuff.
horizon.
He's like, yeah, and then he sees
He's
himself,
a big fucking
sees himself on the
asshole.
TV.
Yeah, we
he's
got
like,
that,
yeah, I
yeah.
see myself on the TV, and then what's the story? And then immediately cuts to 3 years later because there's no, it's just that's it. That's the end of that. Close the chapter.
Yeah.
It's done because of what just happened there.
And then he's selling porn. Wow, that's so.
Because it wasn't
cool.
about the
not
controversy.
just porn.
And
Got
it,
legitimate
that
films,
3 year
too.
gap, it wasn't about the controversy. It was how he recovered from it.
Yeah.
So,
And that big
yeah.
chick was such a horrible actress. Oh my god.
The one that was running the video that ended up getting porn?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was so corny. Oh my god.
Well, everyone.
You know what it
I have
reminded
to
me
put
of?
aside everyone's acting in this.
Okay, this reminds me. It reminded me of Tales from the Crypt. Everything about it, the camera angles.
I'm gonna have to spoil something
way-
for this now. I have to get into this now because of their crazy acting. To show you how bad acting was at this time of the year. This was okay. His girlfriend who ran the video store. She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress that
Oh my
year.
God.
Robin Williams was nominated for Best Actor.
Oh, God.
They were nominated and won other Golden Globes Robin Williams won Golden Globe for Best Actor in comedy or musical.
In this movie?
Bridges was nominated for a Golden Globe for actor. Seriously, tons of acting awards for this movie, which in most other years I don't think would come close to it.
What was this
in-
going up against?
in acting?
That's what I want to know. What this went up against because
Cokey Diaries, the diary of coke people.
because how did this win against anything for best anything?
What are the Academy Awards for that year?
It's so difficult to go to.
Yeah,
that.
when Robin Williams came out, like I was just like, this is fucking stupid. He shoots some shitty arrow with a ball at the end, and they save him by
he's
singing.
very theatrical, yeah, and they sing their.
And then they try to hook some chick up with some homeless dirty dude. That was fucking.
No, the homeless dude was after her to begin with. All right, we're just gotta quickly go through this. That's my cousin. That's supporting. Yeah, this has to be the other year. This is the films of. Yeah, that's from the date of that. I was going for the next one up from there. All right. Well. All right. We got the first impressions. Well, let's go. Let's try to go with while we're trying to find this. Things you liked about the movie.
Try to
think of something you liked about
Focus
this movie.
hard.
Oh,
I mean-
I liked the only thing that I liked about this movie was the chick that he had a crush on. She was actually really weird.
Did you
and
remember her from any other movies?
Yes. Honey Bunny or
Yes, from Pulp Fiction, from the opening scene there. She was also in the latest Hunger Games movie, where all I know is when I saw that movie in theaters, I was like, that girl's familiar, and then she was from Pulp Fiction.
I thought she did a really good job.
Yes, I think she was really great in the movie.
I believed her
I
craziness.
actually even liked Robin Williams as his character developed later in the film. In
Later
the
on.
In the
Later
beginning
on.
of the film, didn't really like him that much. He was much more of that Robin Williams stand-up guy, Mork from Mork kind of guy. Okay, well, the only good... Right, you get some good acting in here. There's definitely some good stuff. I guess there just wasn't enough, because you got... I mean, De Niro in Cape Fear was
Wait,
good.
what?
It's kind of a big one. Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs, of course, you got Best Actor for that one, so that was really good. Jodie Foster got Silence of the Lambs. This was also one of the few years, if not the only year, that a horror film won Best Picture with Silence of the Lambs.
Wait a minute. Picture, director, actor, and actress was all Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, no, Silence
Well,
of
yeah,
the Lambs.
that's an awesome movie. That's
Yeah.
why.
No, I'm not
It's-
I'm not upset. It's just
But no,
usually not.
it swept all those major awards, and it was a horror film, which
Yeah, that
technically
doesn't
horror
happen.
film doesn't happen in there. So then you got Fisher King does get something, but Fisher King was nominated for quite a few things. I was surprised that it wasn't nominated for Best Director because of the other stuff it was nominated for. But
Look at this though. I mean, look at the other options, right?
okay, so the other
Let's
options that Fisher King won against, you got Juliette Lewis in Cape Fear, which is a kind of ridiculous role and more of another horror film nominated there. So that's
I'd say Jessica Tandy is that best.
Jessica Tandy and Fried Green Tomatoes, Kate Nelligan from Prince of Tides, and Diane Ladd from Rambling Rose. I've seen Cape Fear and Fisher King out of those two, so I can only judge on those two.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah. So I guess kinda, but in thinking of the movie, if I were gonna give an award to a
Barton
best
Fink.
supporting actress from that film, I would have given it to the love interest.
Oh yeah,
Williams' love
totally.
interest. I would have totally
She
given
did
it
a
to her.
great job. She's the only good thing about
she
this
did
movie.
get awards from some other awards for this.
Indies
so
type stuff,
She got
probably.
something, but yeah, it's just interesting that was nominated for best acting and all of the craziness because it wasn't that great in there.
I was saying that year
It
though.
was just it wasn't. Yeah.
I like Barton Fink better.
Oh yeah, Barton Fink, but also some crazy acting in that stuff too.
Show you the life of mine. I'm
uh,
gonna forget that line.
all right, so we get a
So that was my favorite.
yeah. So much to like. I don't know.
So
Was Honey Bunny?
Okay.
Okay.
I'd say she might be one of my favorite part of the movie. I like the relationship between the two of them. And I think once we got to know her, I liked Robin Williams' character a lot better. And also learning his backstory. That of course, you got the connection there from Jack and his indirectly causing the murder of Perry's wife, and all of the. I like him, Jack, having to deal with the ramifications of his throwaway comment that he had because he was only caring about himself, but still, he couldn't have known from that interaction. He didn't know that that's where it was going to go.
I remember when he's yelling at.
He was trying to help the caller in the first place. Just be like, forget about these yuppie people. Like, just live your own life. Don't worry about them. Don't try to go out with one of those girls. Like they're terrible. They're not good enough for you. So he was kind of trying to help him, but he just took the message the wrong way because mental illness goes.
This was his
along
worst
with that.
performance I've ever seen.
I've
Jeff
seen a
Bridges?
lot of bad Jeff Bridges performances. I think there were some good moments in this, but it wasn't overall one of the best.
Tron's his best.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it was all CGI. It wasn't really him. I like that he goes after the criminal too. There's good moments in this film that I like in it, and the Terry Gilliam weirdness in it of the he does a lot with the dream world and
Little Men.
kind of how that battle melds into there. What were you saying?
Little Men.
The Little Men. The balance of like dream world and psychosis and reality and how that plays through and what's more sane and delusion and all of that reoccurring themes in a lot of Gilliam's films that I really like in there. The Red Knight, very Python-esque kind of monster.
Yeah. Shitty monster.
All right, what was your favorite thing about the movie or something?
I liked learning about Robin Williams' character and his backstory, and I think that was like maybe my favorite thing about this film.
Yeah.
Was. Yeah, I mean, like, because
we don't get to learn about all of the homeless people that he runs into. We see their.
This movie's interesting because it was a story about both of them.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it would have came out to be a better film if it was more focused on Robin Williams' story than if it was focused.
I think
but that's just
me.
me.
I think Robin Williams' story was a lot stronger. And I think it was more focused on him.
Later
but it
on.
was
Yeah, but it had like all this other
like the substance was him, but it was all kind of bookended and framed by Jeff Bridges' story. So we only really get to learn about him through Jeff Bridges, but he becomes the kind of the focus of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the romantic relationships in Jeff Bridges' story, they're not as fully developed, or at least they're not shown as much.
Yeah.
We don't really get to to understand him as much there. And I think because his character really, I mean, he changes at the end, but he's not done with his transformation yet. He wisens up at the end and at least knows a way to go so that he's not so selfish. But so much of it is he just wants to write a check to make it all go away.
Right.
And
or steal a check.
At first he just gives the money because he wants that to make it go away. All right, if that won't do it, what if I do this for you? If I do this for you, I'll be good, and then I can go back to my life and be successful again. And it just keeps going with that, and all the way to stealing the Grail. And even at that, he's just doing it to make his conscience clear so that he can just go on and forget him. He has a little bit of transformation at the end, but it's not as well developed as you see with Robin Williams, where he has to he's lost his wife, he's completely gone away from that entire persona. He created this new personality, so he doesn't have to deal with it. Then it all catches up to him as he's trying to get this new relationship going, and he finally has to deal with the pain, which is 3 years delayed now. And it all comes crashing down to him. Has to deal with that and build up his new relationship to solidify and ground that and deal with both of those at the same time. He's got so much more that you see him work through in this.
I also really like that it was about, I don't know, just that it was about homeless people.
Yeah, I like the idea that you get to see
really
the stories behind them.
It's not really a topic that you see.
No, and they were talking about doing the TV show within the movie of doing a TV show about homeless people and getting to learn about them.
Yeah,
and they were going to do it in a much a comedy way and a lighthearted thing. But
they love being homeless.
But it's it's interesting that we only do get to learn about the backstory of one of these people, but you can see through him that all of these other people do have a strong story behind them.
Yeah,
and it would be really great to get to learn about more of them.
Drugs.
Maybe they turn this into a TV series like they do with Fargo or something.
Oh,
and you
God,
get to look at it, learn at each one of these people every week. It would be interesting
if somebody else wrote it
them.
and directed it, maybe.
I just think that it could have been short. It could have been shortened.
Fuck
it could have
yeah.
been
It could have been
a lot of
shortened.
things could have been.
He could have took a fucking
tighter.
shower when he went to see the chicks he's in love
And like,
with.
I'll say what my
He took a
worst.
shower eventually.
Yeah,
He just didn't do it
eventually.
at first, which was a little weird.
And they didn't tell him anything about it? Like, you smell like shit. You're gonna put a little...
Air pressure.
That's fucking stupid. I was like... Oh,
My worst part was what I think was supposed to be the climax. Was him stealing the Grail.
yeah, that was like... Kind of
I don't know if
Adam
that was-
West Batman-ish bullshit.
I don't know if there was a clear climax in this film.
But it
that
felt like
way.
that was what was supposed to be the climax, is him getting that Grail and giving it back, giving it to him.
That's the titular climax of
Yeah.
it, with him being the Fisher King and he gets
Exactly.
the Grail back.
I mean, it everything points to that being
But
or at least supposed to be.
But then the Grail's a metaphor there as well.
Oh, it's a metaphor?
Yeah.
I thought it was a real grail.
Well,
I don't
the
get
Grail-
this
the
movie.
Grail's the real Grail.
But still, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you
then-
on that.
But then, like, he does the rope thing, and then he swings across. He's like, "Thank God nobody looks up."
Yeah. I was
That
like,
moment
man,
was
nobody
so
fucking...
awful.
That's the cocaine 80s comedy of the
That was
thing.
terrible.
Oh, this city.
Really? You couldn't come up with anything else?
Yeah. That's something Peter Parker would say.
That's the thing of this is the thing of them shooting it on the set and they don't have that line in there and he's doing it and some PA is like, hey, wouldn't they all just see him doing that? Like,
Oh shit.
oh shit. Who's got a line? Just say something. Nobody washes their dicks in this town. That's not gonna work, Jeff. Jeff, think of something else. And he just takes 72. They eventually get that line. I'm like, sure, why not? Let's go with it. Keep going.
Yeah, that
That's
was horrible.
that's where that.
Takes? I only do one take. Good thing nobody washes their dick in this town.
The camera wasn't on. Damn it, Jeff. So that's why Bo Bridges gets all that work filling in all the other takes for Jeff Bridges putting on the wig. Anyway, so yeah, I agree with the pacing, or not as pacing. I just think that Jeff Bridges' story. I could even deal with it being this long of a film if they had just developed his story better.
Yeah.
Developed Jeff Bridges' story better on it.
Yes.
I want to care more about him. I want to care as much about him as I end up caring about Perry, because I end up caring about Perry a lot in this. I'm liking his story.
Yes, I love. Yeah, Perry's great.
So they know that they can do that with a character. Then why not do that with Jeff Bridges' character? All right. So is there anything you want to?
It wasn't that. I'll be
It
clear.
was so fucking corny.
It wasn't that I didn't care about Jack,
No.
or rather than that I hated Jack. I just didn't care.
It was corny, but there are other films like
like the video store thing. Where have you been where they put videos like diagonally all the way down with nothing behind them?
what's a video store?
All right, but you know what I'm talking about. That doesn't make sense. Even in like an ape, if you got a bunch of apes,
I can't
if you got a
remember
bunch of
that
apes,
far back.
they would put the videos against something. Like, who does that? That was just so
I do remember
stupid.
video stores being terrible. That's all I know.
Nobody like right in the middle, so you just knock over. That was just oh god. And that lady, the fat chick at the beginning, I was like, this is horrible. And then like when he's drunk, they're trying to do that like Twilight Zone angles off to the side. That I was like,
Yeah, Gilliam does a lot of those weird angles there. I
didn't care about any of these people except for that one chick. She was good. She's the only good thing
I like
about
that
this.
in the office there was a picture of or big poster of Brazil hanging up there.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yep.
Oh, because of the World Cup.
No.
Oh,
The other Brazil directed
Other
by Terry
Brazil.
Gilliam.
Yes.
I don't know about
Have you seen that movie?
No.
My favorite movie of his.
It'll be there sometime. Yeah. There's a glimpse into the
Oh,
future of a movie you're
If they
eventually
put
gonna
that
have to
on
watch.
Instant Watch.
Oh yeah, the second it's on Instant
Oh
Watch.
man, I'm picking it.
We're both picking it. That's a double pick.
Oh god.
No, but
you're gonna
it's-
hate it so much.
Oh, is he?
He's gonna go in thinking this
Oh,
is
right.
Terry Gilliam. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hate it. It's all Python. It even stars one of the Pythons. He's gonna hate it.
Yeah.
All right. So
See, I didn't even know it was him either. I just hated this on my own. And then I found out that he was.
and it's
in the
also the
Python.
search for the Holy Grail, but this is a much more like
A
dramatic,
shitty version.
different version of the search.
I'd
for the
actually
Holy Grail.
rather watch Monty Python version of the Holy Grail than this.
I think the other one has more jokes in it.
At least they're like blatant, like,
All right.
hey, this is we're trying to be funny.
Star ratings, go.
Because of that chick, I gave it a 2. Just because of her.
Okay.
She's the only good thing. Her little twitches, she did really good. Like she did.
She's
awesome.
good. I'm surprised you don't see her in more things.
Yeah,
She's been in a lot of stuff, just not. I think it was 99 different films she's been in or something. I was
Oh,
looking
wow.
up her IMDb thing earlier, but not a lot of big roles and not a lot of movies that have taken off as well. So you don't see her that often. Even in
Yeah,
Pulp
I
Fiction,
guess
it's
she's
a
not
tiny
like the
little
hot
role.
chick or anything. So it's kind of, I guess.
Mousy character that really works for that, and I think she did it in the 3 films that I've seen her in. I liked her in. I liked her in this, in Pulp Fiction, and Hunger Games 2. Yeah, she's having all of that. I originally apparently gave this movie a 3, and so before I started watching this, I saw the 3 on there, and thinking of it as I think of the movie a lot higher than that in my mind, and with Terry Gilliam, I always think of his stuff a lot higher, and it's the lowest. I think the lowest rated Terry Gilliam movie I've seen.
Yeah.
So that was surprising to me. And when I started watching
And then you watched it again.
well, I started watching it and I seen the acting in it. And I was like, all right, I can see the 3 in this. But then as the more I get into Perry's character in it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change it to a 4 because I just love the thoughts and the story in this. And I know it's not going to be something that you guys would give a 4 as much to, but I'm such a huge fan of Terry Gilliam. And I love all of his stuff.
You're right. I'm not giving it a 4.
I-
I'm giving it a 5. No. I'm kidding.
No.
I wouldn't. How dare
So
you.
I'd love to give it a 3.5. So this is one of those where it can go either way, the 3 or a 4. But I think I gotta give it a 4. Just I like this stuff.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Mhm.
I could have very, very easily given it a 4 if they really had just shortened down.
Was it
Like,
2 hours and
take
20
each
minutes?
scene,
So I
every
think,
single
too, is I
scene,
think-
and just shorten it down a
Yeah.
little bit, and it wouldn't be hard.
And that could if they had developed Jeff's character more.
Well, it'd be
Jack.
difficult, like anything.
If they had developed Jack's character more on that, this could have been 5 for me in that type of movie. But yeah, that's this movie.
Exactly.
Yep.
Still glad I picked it.
Good. So you're gonna keep on blind picking
Yeah,
because it's been.
I'm gonna keep
It's
going.
been, it's been serving you well.
No,
It's
it
just-
really hasn't.
You're playing Minesweeper here and just clicking around like crazy. You're not caring about those numbers. You're just going,
It was so great when I finally learned how to
Whatever.
play that game.
Because
As a kid, I was just like clicking around, right? Yeah.
Someday I'll learn how to really use Netflix and
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So next week
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing a wrench into our situation here.
Wait, you're not picking Robin Williams?
Fuck no.
After the great success. Let's pick the
What
next
Dreams
great
May
Robin Williams
Come?
movie. Is that on Netflix?
I don't know.
I don't think it is right now.
I'm
That's the
surprised-
problem. You think
I'm
it's
surprised it's not. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think it was at one point.
Wet Dreams
It was
May
recently.
Come? I want to see that
It's a
one.
different movie that's about the son from the other movie. All right. So what's happening next week, Tony?
So
Explain to us.
next week we will have a guest,
Mm-hmm.
a special guest,
All right.
or not so special. Anyway, he wants to watch Star Trek Into Darkness, 2013. Not the original reboot, the second one from the reboot.
All right.
There.
You're happy now.
So
I actually just watched
Star
that
Trek Into Darkness. It's rated PG-13, so watch out. That's all I'm saying.
Apparently, you're gonna give it a 4.5.
That's what it tells me.
It thinks that's even more than a 4.5.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a 4.7.
Yeah,
4
that's a pretty high that it recommends that for you, but that's not one that
Wow.
you've put in there, so
Yep,
you
I
don't,
put
you
it in
don't know
there.
what you're gonna get
Have you
there
seen
yet.
it before?
I actually recently watched it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
This one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about this with whoever the heck
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
Tony's friend is. He's not plugging here, mentioning it all.
Oh,
Because you don't want
his name's Frank Estrada, and he's not my relative.
to.
He does stand-up comedy.
He's not your
and he's
relative?
really short.
Have the same last name.
He's a midget. No, not technically.
Don't you feel inspired to go see this man's show?
He's pretty short.
You gotta go see his comedy. That's a big sell there. That's a big sell. All right. Thank you for
No,
watching.
No, he'll sell himself next week. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't rely on him.
Jaga ba.
Bye.
Jaga ba.